Joining us now, Janatan Sayeh is an Iran program research analyst at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Gabriel Nerona is former State Department Special Advisor on Iran. Welcome to you both. Janatan, I'd like to start with you. As we heard, President Trump has confirmed that he knew the attack was coming, of course, stressed the United States was not involved. But did this attack by Israel on Iran catch Iranians off guard? And military officials here, especially when we're learning top brass and scientists were the targets.
To an extent, no, because Iranians had been escalating their threats against Israel, which was indicative of the fact that they were awaiting a strike. I think what they did not predict was for it to be a unilateral strike, because prior to that, Iranians had threatened to, quote-unquote, level U.S. bases in the region to the ground. But now that the U.S. is not directly involved, Tehran has to recalculate on its response. Now, of course, that's going to be very challenging, given that their leadership is effectively decapitated, and Israel is very likely to take out their ballistic missile stockpiles to prevent further escalation and retaliation from the regime.
Yeah, that's right, Gabriel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he defended this right after this attack started. And here's what he had to say about that. Watch.
Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000s of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped.
So, Gabriel, President Trump tried to make this deal. He gave this 60-day timeline, this deadline. It was day 61. He didn't. He says he didn't want to move forward with this, but he does say that it did need to happen. What do you take away from all of this? Where does it go from here is the next question. Does it turn into a ground offensive? Does it turn into more bombs and ballistic missiles? Or does it turn into a regional conflict? What's your take on that?
Well, I think this is going to be about a week-long offensive campaign by Israel. Again, we haven't seen even a third of Iran's nuclear infrastructure actually hit yet. But that infrastructure is not going anywhere. The commanders and the missile silos and the rocket launchers, those are a bit more mobile, and those are going to be the first targets. Iran is not going to have a whole lot left to hit Israel with if all those Israeli operations go well. But what Prime Minister Netanyahu's calculation here was that he was never going to allow an October 7th surprise happen to Israel. He was going to go on the offense. He was going to do it before Iran was totally aware that it was to happen to them and catch them off guard. It's been a masterful campaign in the first 12 hours. Again, we have a long ways to go and a lot of Iranian counterattacks before this is over.
Sure.
But what we've seen is a clear victory here so far.
All right. Gabriel and Janatan, thank you so much for joining us with your analysis. We appreciate it.